because then I said, I have to continue my education. I became the first in the country. President Clinton, how many of you heard of President Clinton? President Clinton learned about me and heard about me when he was running for president. And I was already a city councilman, and I helped him. And he called me, and he says, Councilman, I want you to be my representative in education for all Latinos in the United States. This was when he was president this last year. And I said, Mr. President, it will be an honor for me to serve, to represent you, helping all Latino children in the United States. And I'm very happy. So that little kid was also representing President Clinton. And guess what? My highlight. One time I got a call in his last year. He says, Guillermo, he used to call me Guillermo, because his name is William Clinton. So William is Guillermo. William is in English, Guillermo is in Spanish. So he always remembered my name. He says, Guillermo, can you come with me? I have to go visit 4 states. And I said, of course, Mr. President, I will gladly join you. I didn't know that he was inviting me to go with him on Air Force One. I spent 2 days with President Clinton going from place to place in his airplane. So I'm in there, in this plane. You may have seen the movie, you know, Air Force One? I'm in there and I said, oh my God, I am the president. I'm a special guest. So when I had an opportunity to talk to him, one-to-one, I went to him and I said, Mr. President, in his plane, I have to tell you something. You see me here standing in front of you? I'm a little kid that was growing up without shoes. And my parents were very poor. There's 9 of us, I'm the oldest. And I came here not speaking one word in English. Very afraid of everything. I've never been in a big city. Mr. President, here I am with you as your special guest in Air Force One. And you are the most powerful person in the whole world. In front of you is a kid that didn't even have shoes. And you know what he said to me? He said, Guillermo, what you just said to me is the story of all our children. So many children that this country gives them opportunity to become someone important. And the reason why we are the best country, the greatest country in the world, is because we give children like you an opportunity to become successful. Becoming successful means that you educate yourself, you do the best that you can with your family to help others. And he says, you know what? You just told my story because I was very poor too. Mr. Clinton said, the president. And many people help me like you help me. And that story that you said is what made this country great. So that's the story that I bring to you today. Today I am, oh by the way, I went back to school after I finished with Mr. Clinton, President Clinton, and in the city council, and I went to Columbia University, which is a university here in the city of New York. It's one of the best in the whole world. And remember when I graduated from high school that they said that I was not college material? Well, I went to Columbia, and last year I finished my doctorate degree. That is the highest One person can get from Columbia University. So you see, the kid without shoes was able to get the highest degree, a doctorate. And today I'm here with you, Mayor Bloomberg, the mayor of all New York or New York City, called me 2 years ago. And he says, Guillermo, I know the work that you have done. Can you come to work with me and be a commissioner to represent all immigrants in the city of New York? There's about 3 million of us. An immigrant is someone that was born outside the United States. Many of you, your parents were born outside the United States. If your parents were born outside the United States, can you raise your hand? So most of you know that I am the Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs. I represent your parents. It's about 3 million of us. Okay, lower your hands. So now, I am, as an immigrant, I was invited to be representative of all New Yorkers that were in the United States and that are immigrants and that are helping the city of New York today. And this is a great honor for me to be playing this role. So I'm not done yet. I still have a lot of work to do. But I'm done with education for now. I finished my doctorate, I have my degree. They call me now Dr. Linares. And they call me Dr. Commissioner Linares. But I am happy if they just call me Guillermo, which is my name. I am proud to have been born in a farm. I am proud to be someone that came from not knowing a word of English to now being in this position. But education is the key, and that's my message to you. If you do things right, if you listen to your parents, and you also know that the reason people help you, your teachers, and your neighbors, and your friends, is because they want you to help others when they have a need. And when you do that, you become successful. How many of you are thinking of going to college like I did? How many? Let me see. All the hands. Everybody. Everybody. Very good. Congratulations. Now, I think I have a little time for a couple of questions that you may have. Yes, the young man there. Yes. When I went to college, how many years did it take me to finish? I would say it depends. I went to college and it took me 4 years to graduate to be a teacher. And then I went for 2 masters. When I was a principal, I went to foreign universities, to City College. But then after that, I said I want to be a doctor, and I gave up being a principal because I'm still a teacher. I'm still a teacher. However, my classroom got a little big. Now my classroom has about 3 million New Yorkers. So it's a bigger, I'm still a teacher because once a teacher, always a teacher. So, right here. How long did I teach in the classroom? Well, I did, the first year I was a paraprofessional. I wasn't a teacher. I was an assistant to a teacher. And then I work for 2 years, 5th graders and 6th graders. And then from there I went to train teachers. So I used to visit many schools to help teachers in the classroom, and I did that for a while. And then I went to teach in college, and I kept going to school. Then I got elected to office. How did it feel to be in the airplane with the president? Let me tell you, there is nothing like the feeling that you have being in the plane. First of all, if you walk into a regular plane and you see first class section, the big seats that they have, the seats in Air Force One, in the section for special guests, they have large chairs there. And on one side of the chair, you could put caps to drink something, but on the other side there's a phone, there's a telephone, that you could make calls from that plane. And guess what? I said, I'm calling my father, because my mother had passed away already, but I said, I'm going to call my father from here. And they called him. He was in the Dominican Republic already. He retired to the Dominican Republic. I called him. The phone didn't work because he used to live in a farm. The next call was my wife, who's a principal. She was a teacher with me. So I called her. Boy, was she excited. And then I called my sister in Miami. And she picks up the phone and she was watching a movie. And she says, what's that sound that I hear? I said, I'm calling you from Air Force One, Elena. That's her name. And she says, everybody in her living room, everybody, shut up. Guillermo's calling from Air Force One. He's with the president. Shut up. Listen to him. So that was the experience. Let me tell you, very few people can say that they are the guest of the president in Air Force One. But I am one of them. That little kid without shoes, that grew up in a farm and came to learn English, has been there. And if I did it, you can do it, right? Every single one of you, right? Now, I see someone very important here that I want to introduce. And his name is Johnny Torre. And the reason he is very important is because he used to be on the radio every day. And he used to talk to bodegueros. Remember that I told you I used to work in a bodega? I was a little younger then. Well, back then, I used to listen to him. So I want to introduce him to you. He's here. He's part of the wisdom here. And I want him to stand with me because I'm very proud of him. You know, he used to talk in the radio to kids like me. And you know, I used to pack in the grocery store and in the supermarket. During those days, I used to pack the groceries for people who came. They would give me a little tip. But he used to talk to me, and he used to tell me, remember, you have to continue in school and do good in school. If you do that, there was going to be good things for you. And today, he still talks to young people. I'm so proud of him and the people in the organization that is called Save Latin America, which means save the children. Give children an opportunity and hope to get an education, to become important, to help our neighborhoods, to help families, to help other children. And I'm very proud to be here with him this morning, taking time. Now, I'm very busy because I represent, on behalf of the mayor, all immigrants. So I have to go to many places to help people. But this morning, I'm so proud that I had the opportunity to come and be able to share with you my story. The kid that was born in a farm without shoes, very poor, came to the United States, studied hard, worked hard, and became someone that had the opportunity to help many others. All our parents are about that, helping each other. So, every time very good. That's very nice. Let me bring to the front our vice principal, Mrs. Nuestra.
I want to welcome Commissioner Fernandez to our school. As you see, we have wonderful kids, teachers. We're delighted with the story. And I'm sure that many of the people who are here, the stories kind of are similar. So we want to give him another hand. I also want to introduce Ms. Neovic, she is the assistant principal for the lower grades. Ms. Rivera says he welcomes you to our school. She's on the way back here. She was at a meeting. She's went to that meeting. She's going to come back because she's representing our school somewhere else. She will be back to see you. Okay. Thank you. We want to welcome Mr. Joy Torres.
Let's give a big hand to Dr. Linares. That was a beautiful story, Dr. Linares. My name is Johnny Torres and I represent an organization called Save Latin America. Save Latin America is an organization that is very concerned with the well-being of our community. Because we're very concerned with the well-being of our community, we're very concerned about education. And if we are concerned about education, definitely we are very concerned about each and every one of them. Now first let me tell you what we're doing here today. You just heard a beautiful story by Dr. Linares. From a very poor, humble family to a special guest of the President of the United States, to the Director of Immigration, to a doctorate from Columbia University. What are we doing here today? We're here because our children are not finishing high school at the rate of over 30%. And as I glance around the room, I see doctors and lawyers and architects and engineers and journalists and scientists and teachers. That's what we represent. However, in order to do that, you have to finish your education. First your elementary school, then your high school, then college. And we're here because we want to instill in your mind, help you understand and instill in your mind the fact that education is key to success. We want you to be very clear in your mind, no matter where you come from, no matter what you do. Education should be right now the the most important thing in your life. You must also understand how much love is around you. At home, you have a mother and father, you have grandparents, uncles and sisters and brothers. They all love you. Then you come to school. And before I continue, I'd like to invite you to the front, the teachers in this room. The teachers in this room, will you please come up to the front? All the teachers in the room. Now, the reason why I'm asking the teachers to come up to the front is because not too long ago, this nice group of ladies and gentlemen in front of you used to sit exactly where you're sitting today, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and then they finished their elementary school. And then they finished their high school education. And then they went to college. A lot of work. They worked very hard. And you know what they do today? Today they pass on to you all the knowledge that they acquired during all this year of school. All the years, and all the knowledge that they acquired during all those years of school, they are passing to you. They are, in essence, helping you mold your lives. And in the process, they learn to love you individually and collectively as a group. And you know what? When you're home watching television and you're in the park playing, or you are doing something that pleasures you, these ladies and gentlemen are correcting your exams in the papers. They graded it, and they are working for you while you're having fun. In the summer, when you have a lot of fun, these men and women take their work to plan the year for you. And this goes year after year. There is a lot of love from this man and woman for you. And you know what? If they love you, you should love them back. So let's do this together. Somebody else, and then you're going to hear from me. And something wonderful is going to happen, because today, after we close the program, you're going to go to your classroom. But before you go to the classroom, you're going to be invited to do something that I know for a fact that you love to do. You are going to be invited to write an essay. You know what? You just proved to me something. You just proved to me that you're very young, that you're very normal, because when I was your age, I had the exact same reaction every time I was asked You have the opportunity to do certain things, and then you choose to do or not to do those things. And then you're going to have to deal with the consequence, good or bad. You're going to be invited to write an essay. That's an invitation. You don't have to accept that invitation. However, that's your choice. Consequence. If you do not accept that invitation, you now are denying yourself the opportunity to be invited to dinner with your father and mother and brothers and sisters of your age, plus your teachers. And then Dr. Linares and the next speaker and myself are going to be there to support community people, and you're going to receive a plaque. A plaque, an award. Now, listen to this. Invitation. I'm extending you an invitation to write an essay. You now could choose to accept or not to accept that invitation. Consequence. If you do not accept the invitation, you're denying yourself the opportunity to be invited to dinner. The question is, where are, and this invitation is going to take place in June 22nd at 6:30 in Ostos Community College. That's where the dinner is going to be. Question, who are 3 people from this audience that I'm going to be inviting for dinner on June 22nd? Terrific. Very good. You know what? I'm going to remember some of the places here. So really, now I have a story to tell you, but before, okay, I know that you're not going to be invited. I can see the three people are going to be invited. Now, before I continue, Mrs. Rivera, your visit wants to say something to you.
Boys and girls, I'm at Lehman College, which is 4th and 5th graders who were going to perform in about 20 minutes. But as soon as I found out they were at the end of the program, I rushed back because I wanted to make sure that you understood the importance of what Mr. Torres and reaching our dreams means. Many of you have dreams and goals to achieve. And lots of times you say to yourself, I don't know how to go about it. The future is so far away. Well, not too long ago, I was a little girl sitting in a seat just like yours in East Harlem, wondering the same thing. What did I want to do? And I was very, very lucky that I had a great person who guided me. And that person's name is Jerome Zuckerwood. He was my 6th grade teacher. And he told me that I could do things that I could not imagine. And I also had the help of the Children's Aid Society, who took very good care of us and made sure that my mother had the help she needed. Now you have an opportunity to work with Save Latin America, reaching our dreams. And that is super important, boys and girls, that you take this seriously. Y para nuestros niños bilingües, esto es una oportunidad que para ustedes no se presenta todos los días. Una oportunidad para que ustedes estén participando con una organización que les puede ayudar a ustedes a realizar sus sueños. Tienen que pensar, trabajar y tener metas. You must dream, and then you must set goals to reach those dreams. Before you know it, you too can be the owner of a corporation, an entrepreneur. You could be a principal. You could be whatever you want to be. And I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, every single person that's here. Because in this school, we do everything as a family. We have risen from the ashes, literally. This school used to be one of the lowest functioning schools in the Bronx. It was so low that when I came here, I wanted to run away back to my school in the South Bronx, via 60. And of course, that's not what I am. I'm not a quitter. And so the best thing that I did was to bring people in to my circle of dreams. And little by little, the dream became bigger and bigger, and now we are probably the best school in the Bronx. So you should give that a round of applause.
Let's give her a big, big hand. All right. You just heard this story about somebody was very poor, no shoes. He only had one pair of shoes, and he wore those shoes. And when he finished, she comes from a very, very poor family. Her father used to earn his living by picking up garbage in a push cart and seeking things that he could sell. That was her father. Her father and mother didn't reach the 3rd grade of education in Mexico. But Ana Escobedo Cabral, a little girl, had a dream. She wanted to be an employee at the White House. People used to tell her that she was crazy. How could you ever think of being an employee of the White House? Look at your parents. Who are they? What are foreign does for a living? But Ana Escobedo Cabral believed kept insisting that she wanted to be an employee of the White House. And she organized her life at your age to become an employee of the White House. So the first thing she thought of was education. You cannot be an employee of the White House if you're not properly educated. Now, many of you have seen a dollar bill. How many of you have seen a dollar bill? Terrific. This is an enlarged photograph of a dollar bill. This is a real dollar bill that my photographer took a photo of and enlarged it. Now, every dollar bill is signed, every bill is signed by the Treasurer of the United States. So, to my right, in the bottom of this bill, to my right, there is the signature of the Treasurer of the United States. This is Maresca, who that's
Alma Ana Escobedo Cabral.
Ana Escobedo Cabral signs this bill along with billions and billions of dollars as the Treasurer of the United States. That's the little girl who comes from a very, very poor family, and she is Mexican. You know why I'm telling you this story? Because as I glance around this room, I see a lot of Ana Escobedo Cabral sitting here. But you have to do one thing. You have to first believe in yourself, and then you have to organize your life thinking always in education. Because when you educate yourself, what is it that you obtain? You obtain knowledge, right? You come to school to obtain knowledge, and knowledge is power. That's what's happened to Dr. Linares. Come from a very poor family, but he obtained knowledge, and that's why he became a councilman and a special guest of the President of the United States, and now he is a doctor. And you could do exactly the same thing. I want to present to you somebody that I know for many years. This young lady, back when I met her about 25 years ago, was a real fighter. She was a real fighter for the rights of Hispanics. She was involved in teaching people about business. And she's still involved in helping people. I love this young lady. Let's give Mrs. Naida Rogers a big round of applause.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just going to tell you very quickly about myself because I know the time
My story is very similar to Dr. Linares. I didn't speak English. I was afraid. And guess what? You can be afraid, but you have to do it anyway. I went through high school, and I need to tell you that during high school, I worked a full-time job. A full-time job means that I went to high school. I went to Macon High School in New York and Manhattan. I grew up in Manhattan, and then later on, of course, I moved on to the Bronx, but I used to get out of school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I started my job at 4 o'clock, and I worked from 4 to 12. I had a full-time job during high school. And a lot of people don't believe that, but that's what I did. My mother became ill, and I needed to help with the household. We lived in a furnished room apartment, one room. My sister and I and my mother slept in one bed. One brother slept in a little couch, and the bigger brother slept on the floor. That's where I come from. So I tell people, even in my staff, I don't make up excuses, I don't take them, I don't give them. Life is hard. You need to harden up, and you need to know what you want out of life, and you need to go after it. And you can't let anyone stop you. I, of course, went to Queens College. I also worked a full-time job during my college years. My mom, thank God, she's still with me. She's 81 years old. She came with the country, I tell her, because her birthday is July 4th. So she's my biggest role model in life. And of course, I got married. I came to the South Bronx from Manhattan with my son, who was only 3 years old, hanging onto my waist. And I always wanted to have my own business. I don't know why. I became a dental hygienist out of Queens College. But I decided I didn't want to spend the rest of my life cleaning teeth. That's what a dental hygienist does. When you go to the dentist, there's a lady there that cleans your teeth, which, by the way, you have to make sure you clean them, right? Right? Well, that's what I did. But you know what? I decided that I didn't want to do that. I worked down downtown Brooklyn with a gentleman that these things do happen in life, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is for the young ladies and even the young men that are sitting here. Sometimes you will have people that will want to harass you in different ways. And you need to either confront them, stop them, or walk away. So I went on to this job, and this person wanted to touch me in things that I didn't like, and I had to confront him and put him in his place and walked away from my job. And then from that day on, I said, I'm not working for anybody but myself. And I got married, and went through a divorce like everybody else mostly. But that doesn't mean that, your mom and dad don't love you if they're not together. They still love you, just as much, if not more. So you need not use that excuse not to do what you have to do in life to get to where you want to get to. And I came to the South Bronx, and that's where I met Johnny, because I went to a little store that was full of mosquitoes and whatever have you, and I said to the man, I'm going to buy this store from you. And he thought I was kidding him. And I remember it was a hot summer day, somewhere in the maybe mid-70s or late 70s. And I came back about 2 months later, and I said to him, I told you about 2 months ago that I was going to buy your store. It was a candy stationery school supply store. And I don't know, I didn't know anything about that kind of business, but I wanted it. It was on Alger and Westchester Avenue. So those of you that live in the neighborhood know the area well. And the guy said, oh, sure, okay, so you have $25,000 in cash? And I said, of course I do. The day of the closing, when I got to the closing, I didn't have $25,000. I only had 20. I didn't even have money to pay the attorney. But you know what? I told them, and they trusted me, and they believed in me. And my little boy was there also, so they probably wanted to get rid of my little boy who started going around. And we did the closing, and I took over the store. And 5 years after that, I bought the building. And it's a nice commercial property that I sold about 10 years ago very well. So it goes to show you that you can do anything you want to do. In the meantime, during those years, the Bronx was burning, and many things happened. I became involved with the Merchants Association. I became president of, listen to the name, Westchester Avenue Businessmen's Association. But I became the president of it. And we organized the community. We went to the White House to speak to then President Carter to tell him about what was happening in the Bronx, that the Bronx was burning, and that this is a community of people that needed to survive. And the Bronx today, it's just bouncing back so beautifully with all the new homes, and you are here. You can do the same thing. I now work for a company in Wall Street. I no longer work for myself, but I was just giving a promotion in my company. I was actually the regional sales manager for the 4 boroughs of the company in Wall Street. By the way, September 11th, I was supposed to be at a meeting at the One World Trade Center. And I didn't make it because I had just had surgery. And I had a doctor's appointment to go to. So I needed to go to the appointment first. Then I could get down to Wall Street. So I really believe that God let me live for a reason. And it's because I love giving. I love helping people. And that's what it's about. You came here, maybe you came here from another country recently, or maybe you did. Maybe you lived here and your family lives here. But you know what? You need to take responsibility for your actions and for what you do. What do you do when you go home? Do you do your homework? Is it clean? Do you bring it back on time? Think about, do you watch a lot of TV and you go to bed at 12 o'clock and you don't listen to your parents at home? You need to have good hours of sleep. You need to do what you have to do. And I'm going to give you quickly, the world to me is a train or a round. And can somebody just stand here? Just come and stand right here, right in front, okay? This is you right here. This is you, okay? And you, what is your name, young man?
Brown. Brown.
Ron Brown. Ron?
B-R-A-H.
Okay, good. He's standing right here, and this is planet Earth, okay? Now he's alive today, he's here today. And you're all here today. Your teachers that are here, they were there one day. Not in this particular school probably, but elsewhere. So as you sit there, you need to think of, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or when you're very young now and you want to play, you want to do things, but you need to begin to think, what is it that you really like to do? What do you like to do?
I like to play basketball.
Play basketball. Okay. If that's what, do you want to be a basketball player? Maybe. Okay. He's not sure yet. That's okay. You don't need to and they'll pay to pay because you're good at math. Thank you. A round of applause. Okay? So you need to know, the key here is to know what you're good at. Know what you're good at. Find out which people that love you, the teachers. What am I good at? Dr. Linares was good at math. You need to know. You may not be good at something. My son, I remember when they told me my son went to Holy, right here in the Bronx, a few blocks away. No, the other one, St. Helena. And I remember when my son was in the 7th grade and we were looking for high schools. And my son, for some reason, when he was in the 5th grade, just like you, told me, Mom, I want to go to Fordham Prep. So I said to him, really, Ralph, we can do this. And I was excited. But the nun there told Ralph and she actually told me, but Ralph was sitting next to me, that Ralph was not going to Fordham Prep because he was not the material. And I remember coming out of that school, and I remember Ralph was crying, and we sat outside the school in the sidewalk because he couldn't even walk. He was so upset that he was not the material, and he heard the teacher say that, the nun. And guess what? Ralph went to Fordham Prep. Ralph graduated. I'm on the top 10 kids at Fordham Prep. And you can count the Hispanic kids that go there and graduate top 10. So if Ralph did it, I did it, there is no difference between you, I, and Ralph. And for the young ladies here, young ladies, always be a young lady. There are a lot of young ladies, and I hear them in the train and in the buses, and the speech that comes out is not nice. You need to be a lady always. A young lady, and then be a lady like me. Right? You're now a young lady, then you're going to be a lady like me. You need to make sure that you respect yourself. Respect comes from people are going to do to you what you allow them to do. And everything comes from within you. So getting back to my young man here, you need to plan your career, your family life, your social life, your spiritual life, your health, your education. And I'm going to give you quickly, because you guys are going to have to write an essay, right? This school is going to have 10 winners, because you're going to be so good that we're going to have to choose 10 people here. Right? Yes, sir. Right? So let me just tell you a 7-step plan for reaching more than anything that you want in life. Because everybody tells you, oh, I did it. But you're sitting there, that lady's blah, 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 blah. But it's not blah, 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 blah. You got to blah, 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 blah. But you got to put your money where your mouth is. Number one is you need to choose what you really want and what you're good at. Find out what you're good at. Ask the teachers. That's what they're here for. Ask them. They will do whatever it takes to help you to get to where you want to get to. But you got to show them that you want it. Okay? So the first thing is to list. Write down what you're good at. You know, you're probably good at 5 or 6 things. So write those things down. Set the goal. Even for the rest of the year, you should be setting little goals and little things that you want to do. That may not seem important to me or to the person next, but they might be important to you. Okay, a goal could be to, like if you got an 80, maybe you want to get an 85. If you got a 99, you want to get an 100. Always want more. More is better where you want to get, and you have to have energy. Nobody wants a person that's down all the time. You need to have a personality, you need to stand strong, and you need to believe in yourselves. You need to go home and you need to tell your parents. I went to school today, there were some people there, they were talking about goals, and they said I could be president of the United States, and they said I could do this, and you know what, I need to have a meeting with this family because I need everybody's support. And this is what I want to do, write it down and go after it. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Yes, young man. Yes. Okay, exactly. So you want to know what he did? Okay, that's a good question. My son heard from the nun that called Fordham Pratt. What we did was we sat on the sidewalk and let him cry his heart out. And then I said, okay, now that you have a cry, you got to get up, wipe your tears, and let's get. And he began to read a book, one book. One book. Okay, if you read a book every month instead of watching TV, I'm not crazy about TV, I don't even watch TV. But if you read a book for months and your reading score comes up, if you can read, you can do anything. Because everything is reading. So we brought up his reading level. He went for the test at Fordham Prep, and the nun thought that they had made a mistake, by the way. She was still saying that he was not Fordham Prep material. And he made it through, okay? He read. We brought up the reading score. Because you need to read a lot. You need to read a book. And in the summertime, this is the summer coming up, right? So how many books are you going to be reading? Show me, tell me, how many books will you be reading, young lady? 50? No, that's too. Well, hey, if they're small books, you can do it. Absolutely. But you know what? I believe in goals, but I want you to set realistic goals. Because when you set realistic goals and you accomplish them, then you feel good about yourself. Right? So maybe we can read 10 books. You think we can do that? 10 books. And by the way to read the books is to, you know what? When you go to the bathroom, how many people go to the bathroom? Everybody goes to the bathroom, right? When you go to the bathroom, make sure you sit there and read 15 pages. He says to me, my mom is in the Declaration of Independence. I'm just kidding because my mom was born July 4th, and that's the day the United States birthday. They celebrate us, right? We celebrate. But no, because she came in the country. That's so that's just a statement. I made fun of her. Okay? All right. And for the young ladies, I just want to tell you, ladies, you need to have it together. Because this world belongs to you also. Okay? That's what I can tell to the young ladies. Get it together, girls. We can do it.
You know what? I mentioned something before. I mentioned that knowledge is power. Where do you obtain that knowledge? Who wants to tell me? Where do you obtain the knowledge? In schools, in the school, in the books. The more you read, the more knowledge you are going to be commanded. Now, June 22nd, I'm going to be inviting 3 people. I hope that I can do 5. But I'm going to be inviting 3 people to dinner with their parents. Who are those 3 people? All right. So I hope you pay close attention to Dr. Linares and to Senator Rogers. And I'd like to have those essays within the next 2 weeks. All right, don't forget, Monday is the holiday, but you know what? Saturday and Sunday, I work a lot. You could work 2 Saturdays and Sundays, so you didn't have to work to do that in school. Now, I'd like to close by saying that you are a terrific audience. You are indeed a terrific audience. And you will go around the world. And I'd like to close by saying, don't let your country of origin, don't let your country of origin or the color of your skin to impede you from having dreams and setting yourself to make your dreams come true. Thank you very much. Thank you to the teachers. Thank you to the parents. Thank you to your everybody. God bless you all.
All right, well, we got everybody. Money.